Good morning. It's lovely to be here with you in my front garden. Slightly breezy day, but I don't think it's enough to be a problem. Let me show you the world. This is the world at the moment. It's this cherry tree and its leaves that are dropping. And look at this. Love this. It's always so beautiful. Good morning, beautiful beings. Mike, it's great to see you. Just savouring this view. It's gorgeous. And I mean, really, there's nothing the cherry tree leaves. G'day, Robin. Good morning to you. And also we've got the magnolia, which is turning golden. That's what it does. And you can miss that because the cherry tree is so spectacular. But look at this. I love how the leaves turn. It's just beautiful. So, and look, we've got this big green leafy thing which is supposed to be a house plant, but I planted it outside a long time ago. See how thick the trunks are now. And it gets tall and I chop it down and it comes back again. Hello Andrew, good morning. Good morning everybody. So yeah, this is a thing called a canton lace. The Latin name is Radimachia, and it just grows like a mad thing and it doesn't mind the frost. This is the Luculia that I need to prune now. See, it's finished flowering. Abigail, good morning. And here is the cherry from underneath, and the blue sky behind is pretty gorgeous. So yeah, it's lovely to have you here with me. So here we are. And well, that's the garden tour really. There's not an awful lot to see except the promise of spring. Monica, good morning, sweetie. See, I've got to take off the old iris foliage now because there'll be new ones. Oh, look, we have a little snail nestled inside a sedum rosette. So, there's always something to see, but not a lot of flowers. This is just the season. So, one last look at the cherry tree because it's beautiful. Okay, so I had another question come in yesterday. And man, I love it when you ask me questions. And really this question was something that many people have experienced, and this person was saying, look, when I try to elevate my emotions, I just get stopped because I am really depressed right now. I'm experiencing severe depression. And I feel like I'm having an awakening experience. I feel like I'm in the void. I used to be able to connect with spirit and angels and guides, and now they're not there. I can't connect with any of that. So, what do I do? And of course, you can feel pretty lost when your whole life kind of dissolves and things that used to work don't. And it's like waking up one morning, looking out the window, expecting to see a hill, and the hill's not there. North has moved, the compass spins, all of the things, people, experiences, memories, skills, whatever, that you have been accustomed to referring to because they help you feel like who you are and they help you get through your life and all of that, just aren't there anymore, don't work. And I mean, this is sort of apparently quite common to the awakening experience, whatever that actually is. Jebariah, g'day, sweetie. It's you. Oh, okay, now I know that's your picture. So, I sort of struggle to use the word awakening because it comes with so much. Oh dear, I'm going to open my mouth and insert my boot here. It comes with so much new age spiritual claptrap around it that I hesitate to use it because I say spiritual awakening and every one of you will have a different thing going on in your head. It's like me saying, well, love, and that word means so many things to so many different people in so many different contexts. It's practically meaningless. So that's my hesitation with using the word awakening experience. But that's what I'm talking about when everything kind of dissolves and you're in the void because nothing that was old is working anymore. And you don't know who you are anymore. It's like nothing, and there's nothing there either. You're just in the void. So I want to talk about being in the void. And as much as There's plenty of conversation about how being in the void is scary and difficult and painful and everything falls apart and, you got to navigate and it's sad, or you feel grief, you feel the loss of the old self. That's really what's happened, by the way, is your old self has died. You've lost who you used to be. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be extremely disorienting. So the old self is to some degree dead or dying or gone. Holly, good morning! And the new self is like, who are you? I don't know you. I just feel all at sea and I feel lost and I feel sad and I feel grief. Good morning, Laurie, and all of that stuff. So what's the deal? I don't want to talk about all that because that's just the problem. A problem is not a solution. Anyone who's been hanging out with me for a little while knows I'm interested in solutions. I'm not interested in problems because the more you focus on it, the bigger it gets. We talked about that yesterday. So I thought to myself, what would I say to this person? What would I say to anybody who's experiencing this? And I'm reminded of something that Dr. Joe Dispenza says. He says a lot of things in my head because I've listened to him so much. I have a big Dr. Joe Dispenza neural net in my head and I love it, and I keep adding to it all the time because it's so useful to me. And one of the things he says is, when people come up to him is to say, I can't predict my future, I'm kind of lost, everything, it's all unpredictable, it's all gone to shit, I don't know what's coming next. And he says, the best way to predict your future is to create it. And, that statement used to kind of piss me off because it was like, well, how the hell do I do that? But I now know how to do it. So I thought, this is really what you have to do. When you're in the void, when an old self has died or is dying, when your friends are disappearing because you don't actually like them anymore, when all the things that used to bring you pleasure don't anymore, when all the new age and spiritual practices you used to do don't make sense anymore. Laura, g'day, honey. Been there too, by the way. The best thing to do is to create something that you do want. You cannot go back. Whatever the changes that's happened, you can't go back. And we all want to go back. We want to go back to that which felt safe and secure and familiar and predictable. It's gone. Don't get mired in the loss of what you no longer are. It's gone. We just want to go back to what's familiar and where we know who we are, even if it's limiting and keeping us small. So, what would I say to someone in that situation? Well, I'd say, honey, you're in the void. You've got to create something new. And we talked a little bit about that yesterday. And really that means that you have to start the very thoughtful and how your life might look and eventually how it might feel when it is the way you want it to be. And I actually want to talk about that today. Because if you are so deep in the void, or you've been in depression for a long time, or you've been sick for a long time, or you've been afraid for a long time, or you've been lackful for a long time, or you've been lonely for a long time, or whatever it is for a long time, it can be extremely difficult to think greater than how you feel, because the feeling is wall to wall and you feel awful, you feel lost, you feel, whatever it is, you're in survival, right? We talked about that yesterday. The feeling can be so overwhelming that it's very, very difficult to think a different thought, never mind generate a different feeling. And I know that is at least a chunk of what this person is experiencing. So I thought I have to say something that's useful in that context. It's all very well to say, oh, you need to think greater than you feel, and you need to imagine a wonderful new life, and you need to start feeling those feelings. But when you are kind of feeling crushed and shut down inside, it's impossible. Monica! I love your comments. I love your all comments. Julian, g'day, sweetie. Then, it can be very hard to do that. And I know what that is like. So, my advice, and yes, it is advice because I know it works and this is research and it makes sense and it's repeatable. in that situation, when your brain is mired in a bad feeling and you can't get out of it, the only thing you have to know is that you can't get out of it because your brain and your heart are incoherent, and you are going to feel like shit until you create some coherence. And when you create a more coherent brain, you're going to be able to start to think about new possibilities that right now you simply can't perceive. And there's a reason for that, which hopefully I have time to explain. When you create a more coherent heart, your emotional state will begin to lift. It is a fact. That's just it. Let me check the clock. Okay, so quick reason why it's impossible to think a better thought when you are mired in dark feelings. Down the side of your spine, well, you know, you have these spinal segments, and there are nerves that leave the spine and feed your body and run your body at every nerve junction. And where those nerves join the spine is a big ganglion, a neurological ganglion, all the way down the spine in pairs. Those ganglia are full of receptors for neuropeptides. And neuropeptides are what your brain produces in response to a thought that has a feeling attached to it, right? It's a little bit jumbly, but you get the idea. You have a thought, you have a feeling, neuropeptides hit those receptors. Now here's the kicker. Those receptors are also, those neurological ganglia, I beg your pardon, are also processing all the information that comes in via sensory pathways through your body. And the receptors, if they are all full of chemicals, neuropeptides, that are about feeling sad, they kind of get stuck there and they can't receive information that relates to being happy. They literally can't process it. This is why it's so important to change your state. It's a psychoneuroimmunological fact that you are always going to think and feel more of how you're thinking and feeling until you change it. That's all I've got time to say. It's just such a mind-blowing thing when you understand that your state of being is immediately a filter on what information can get to you. Jen, g'day honey! And it's about filtering the information from the environment. It's also about filtering the information from what you can think. Because we've all had the experience of being under pressure and you can't remember the answer to the question because you're stressed. And then after the exam or the whatever it was, you're like, oh, of course it was that. That's because you were in stress, you couldn't access that information. That's what that is. So if you're in sorrow and depression, it's very hard to think about feeling happy. That's why. So you have to, and that is a result, without going through all the cause and effect, of incoherence. So to create heart coherence, the simplest way to do that is to put your awareness in your heart, literally where your heart is, behind your breastbone, there. Put your awareness in there and breathe in and out. And if you're feeling awful, you can expect that your brain will want to hear off into how awful you feel in about 2 seconds time when you start doing it, and then you'll pull your brain back into your heart and take another breath, and your brain will want to hear off after another breath, and that's fine. You just got to keep bringing your awareness back into your chest and breathing there. That is it. And if you set a timer and literally force yourself to do that for 5 minutes, you are going to notice something, even if it's just that how much your brain doesn't want to pay attention to one thing. And if you keep doing it, if you keep practicing it, there comes a point when the heart rhythm changes. And I'm not going to talk about that because I'll run out of time, but the heart rhythm changes from being jagged and uneven to being extremely regular in its patterns. It's not completely the same all the time, but it makes a very regular pattern and it becomes coherent, and then the signal that's going from the brain, from the heart brain to the brain becomes orderly, and it entrains this brain entrains that brain, and you start to feel better and you start to have more clarity. So that is heart coherence in about 2 seconds. Barely anything. If you want more information, look it up, because I don't want to, I want to actually have a little time to do this with you. But that's heart coherence. It's the simplest, shortest way that I can explain it, is to put your awareness literally within the center of your chest and breathe in and out of there, and insist on yourself that you blaze new trails and do that. Just do it. You know, the Nike ad, just do it. Doesn't matter whether you think it's working or not. This is a fact. If you keep doing it, things are going to change. And in fact, the moment you put your awareness in your chest, in your heart, communication from the heart to the brain improves and gets better immediately. It is instant. You just got to do it. And if you keep doing it, you're going to notice a change. So that is, terribly short version, heart coherence. Brain coherence, again, I'm not going to tell you all the research. I'm not going to tell you the story of how it was discovered. But to make the brain coherent, when we're in survival, the brain is racing off like a herd of a pack of screaming monkeys, all fighting, all screaming, all being attacked. It's 6s and 7s. It's chaos in there, and you can't think right. Misty, good morning. To change that, because the brain is constantly going from, where's the lion? Where's the person that hurt me? Where's that awful memory? Where's this painful feeling in my body? And it's going from this to this to this to this all over the place. It makes it very incoherent. That's because you're constantly going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And every time you go from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, you fire a different neural net in your brain. It's just like this massive great lightning storm in there. It's just all over the place. To stop doing that, you've got to get your attention off all of those things and open your focus. And to do that, you start to sense the space around you. Fundamentally, that's as simple as it is. Sing Marie, g'day sweetie. That is, again, a very short description of what it takes to open your focus. But the simplest way that I find to combine these things, and this is what we're going to do now, because you can learn by doing too, is to put your awareness in your chest. Go on, we played with it before, now we're going to do it for real, or as real as you decide you want to make it. Put your awareness in the center of your chest and breathe. And notice the feeling of the in-breath coming in through your chest. This used to feel so strange to me. Well, I got used to it. I'm used to breathing in through my nose. No, breathe in through your chest. Sandy, g'day sweetie. You've got the practice. That's the most important part. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, again, feel the air, the sensation of breathing coming out of your chest. And if you want to play with this, because it's nice to have something else to do, with your next breath, breathe in your back, just to be different. Breathe in from behind you, and then breathe out behind you. Try that. Explore this. Play with it. Experiment with it. And what about if you breathe in from your left side? Try it. Imagine that you are breathing in energy, light, air, love, whatever it is, from the left side of you into your heart. Keep your awareness in the center of your chest and breathe into it from the left, and breathe out to the left. And now, just to be sensible, breathe in and out from the right side. Try it. Give it a go. You see, while you are doing this, you are exercising a different part of your brain, and you're not thinking about that stuff, are you? You are sensing, you are imagining the flow of air into your chest and out of your chest from the right side. Just play with it. Do it. Now, here's another way. And you know, some of you, most of you already know what I'm doing here. So now try breathing into your chest from below you. Breathe as if the earth is sending you energy. Breathe from the underneath your feet, up through your body, into your chest, and breathe back out and down to the earth. You got nothing to lose, Laura. You're so right. So breathe in from the earth. Let the earth give you energy, and then you give energy back to the earth. Have an exchange from heart to heart. And all this time you've got your awareness in your heart and you're sensing. You're not thinking, are you? Okay, now let's try this the other way. Breathe in from above you. Breathe in from above you. And breathe out back up to you. And let there be no boundary to where that breath comes and goes. If you're breathing in from the cosmos, how big can you breathe in? And I don't mean you have to blow yourself up to be, the size of the universe. I mean, imagine all of the space above you in the cosmos, the stars, the galaxies, the space. It's enormous. And you are just breathing in the sense of that into your chest. And then you're breathing it out again. Now, can you see we're getting into space now? You've still got your awareness in your heart, but you're also opening your awareness out to space. So can you keep that awareness of the cosmos, and you're breathing the cosmos into your heart and out of your heart again? And you can slow your breath. I'm not necessarily timing my ins and outs with yours, so you choose your own speed. Slow is good. It tells the nervous system it's time to slow down and calm. It feels so good, and it always works. It does, Laurie, you're so right. So, and now I can start to feel some shift in the field. Because I sense it, I sense you all here with me. Not just on the live call either. If you're watching and you're doing this, I'm feeling you. It's quantum, honey. So, it feels really nice to connect with the cosmos, right? Now, I want to add something to this. So, you're connecting with the cosmos, and the cosmos is coming down with your breath and into your heart. Allow that breath to continue to flow down and out, down to the earth, and through the earth, and back out all around you like a massive toroidal apple shape. It's huge. It's the size of the universe, and it wraps around and comes in the top of you again. But the key thing is keep your awareness in your heart. Keep the awareness there. You're creating coherence in your heart, and you're opening your focus into space because you are sensing all of this hugeness of the cosmos around you. And so it's just flowing in from above as you breathe and flowing out below you to the earth, through the earth, out to the hugeness of the universe, all around the universe, connecting you to the entire universe, and coming back in from enormous to the space above your head and into your body and into your heart. That is what you are. It's that big. So you see, this is a way to open your awareness out into space. It is fantastic and true. This is the truth of us, and this is how we can connect with who we are. And if you keep doing this, and you can coach yourself through this, I don't sit still and, meditate with no thoughts in my mind. I don't know how to explain this. It's like there is a voice inside my head that says, and I'm listening to Joe, and I'm doing what Joe tells me in the meditation. There's a voice in my head that says, now do this, and have this focus, and let me do this. And it's totally working in there, but it's not the normal kind of thinking. So you can guide yourself through this. You can keep this going. This is what we can do. And I'm out of time. It flies when you go into nothing and get coherent. And now, in that space, when you continue that breathing and that thought, if you wish, you can ask a question and just hold it as, this is a question, let it go, don't look for the answer, just hold the thought and then let it go and see what comes. And if it doesn't come straight away, don't look for it, it'll find you later. So, it's a wonderful exercise, and I'm very, very grateful that one of you gave me a good reason to share it with you. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow.